All right, we're back here with the highly anticipated matchup between both teams tied for first place. We have Lincoln Prep and TRC Academy. We're here at the Rise. I'm Max, and I'm joined with Steve. Welcome back.
Thanks, Max. Always great to be here. I think you get to these matchups where you have the first place on the line always brings a lot of excitement and energy, and I think coming into this building, you can already feel the energy in here. A bit of a triple header today, so there's some excitement left over from last game, fueling the excitement and anticipation of this game. It's just going to be a great day for OSBA.
Great day for OSBA and us, because we're here. We get to live it up. So the visiting Huskies here taking on the Wolfpack. The last game between these two, we did see TRC come out with a 68-65 win at Lincoln Prep. So we'll see if Lincoln Prep can exact revenge and beat TRC on their home court this time. Starting for the Huskies, we have Hall, Rainford, Becker, Maskowicz, and Pockernick. Starting for the Wolfpack are Wilson, Day, Josephs, Ennis, and Frazier. And the tip goes to the Wolfpack. Wilson on the right wing. Swing around, get a look for Wilson from deep, just too strong. It's going to come down to Lincoln Prep.
Yeah, you know, I like there, Max, the TRC came down. They actually posted up Ennis on that one, so there wasn't space to get the ball in there, but they came down, they put a guard in there to get a look and see how Lincoln was going to respond to that challenge.
And here's that TRC press we've seen a lot of with Michaela Ennis at the front, that length causing problems, but Lincoln's able to fight right through it, and Rainford's able to find an easy one on the back end.
Yeah, I think Ennis and Becker are probably two of the best in the league right now at being the front end of that press, so we're going to see it going back and forth with both teams. They cause a lot of disruption, get a lot of hands-on pieces, and put a lot of force on, or cause a lot of turnovers from the opponents.
Here's Ennis working against Hall. Her pass out to Wilson at the top. 4 on the shot clock. Day working from the high post. She gets a pull-up jumper. Just a bit off. Rebound comes again down to Rainford.
Not bad for the Rise, though. We talked about Ennis in the first one, getting a look inside. They couldn't get to it. Now they got Day at the high post, so good interior presence in their first two possessions.
Rainford's pass is picked off there by Josephs. The Rise is able to corral it, and here's Ennis looking to push.
And same message for Lincoln. Now they come down, they get something for Maskowicz, a look inside there, too. Didn't get to her, but getting the right people involved, they're trying to for both teams.
Great defense there by Hall, able to pick the dribble off from Ennis. Coming the other way is Lincoln. They get it to Becker on the block. She dribbles away. They work it around. Rainford looks to probe. Hall this time, a little floater, bit too strong. It's tipped away by Josephs. Here comes Wilson.
You also just see Rainford look a little more at the rim herself there. She kind of worked herself into the paint. It's almost like it surprised TRC that she was that deep. I think she had a chance to take that shot herself.
Great pass to a cutting Wilson. Unable to finish with the left, though. Maskowicz comes down with it for Lincoln Prep. Maskowicz looking to go coast to coast. Gets stopped there by Day, but she's able to finish over top.
2-2 score, but some pretty good possessions for both teams, and good in the sense of where they're getting the ball to and who's being involved in them. So a good start for both teams, I think, in the offense they're trying to create. Sorry, I see what you're saying. 4-0.
Wilson's pass is again picked off by Haller. Second steal already in this game. We'll see how Lincoln pushes it. Here's Maskowicz. See how they look to get her involved early. Her pass is just out of the reach of Becker. It's going to go out of bounds. Ball going to TRC.
Yeah, I think Hall was a little quick to leave the paint there. Maskowicz came down, cut through the paint, drew the defense, came out to that short corner spot that gave her the ball. But what happened is Maskowicz making that run and then exiting pulled the defense actually away from the rim. Hall was standing there unguarded in the paint, but I guess she just seemed probably a little uncomfortable. It was quick feet to get out, and they kind of took it away. And I think Maskowicz was trying to get the ball back inside. So this will be an early timeout now for TRC, and they're probably going to talk about some of the things we are, as my guess is. We're getting the possessions and the touches we want. Now we got to just find a way to get something to convert early on. I wouldn't panic about the score early on if I was them. I like the possessions they've had. So last time these two faced Max, we had Becker out of the lineup, which is a big change in how Lincoln plays. So they'll still press, they'll still do the items they do defensively, and they still show those items in the last game. But with Becker, it gives them a lot more versatility in the front of that pressure. They actually can sag their other guards back more, allowing her to put that ball pressure, the initial challenge of the pass, kind of in her hands. So last time they had to put a little more of everybody else coming up to create that pressure. Now it can be one person creating more of it. So both these teams are familiar with it, as we touched on. Becker will do that, and this will do it for TRC. But Becker brings that versatility to their pressure. It allows them to show 3 or 4 different looks throughout the game.
Great point, Stephen. Here Lincoln shows a man press there. They get the ball over top to Ennis, and here's Arab Smith just checked in, bringing it up against the pressure of Becker. Arab Smith's able to get in the key. She's going to be fouled there. She'll go to the line for 2.
That ends up being, a double bonus there for TRC, in the sense that Arab Smith gets in there and gets a shot attempt going to the basket and draws a foul. So you get the plus of having a bonus going to the free throw line. But then the second piece of that is you had Becker and Maskowicz as the 2 people around you. So when you drew that foul, you've got a foul going on one of the players from the Lincoln side that you would want to draw for TRC. So some offense from the foul line and the foul drawn on their better players is a great possession for TRC.
Unable to hit either from the line, but Zulich is able to clean it up for TRC. Ennis now from the top. The long 3 is no good, but Joseph's this time. TRC continuing to hit the offensive glass and get these second chance opportunities.
And I still feel like better possessions in the score clock is showing for them right now.
Hall, another steal, her 3rd of the game. Here comes Becker in transition, where she's so deadly, and she's able to finish for 2.
Love the patience there by Becker. It wasn't a straight foot race. She actually was taking her time to line up her body towards the rim, use the defender to get her trapped underneath, and just goes on top of her.
I will give credit to Michaela Ennis. They're not picking up, already with 1. She had to play it safe there, not trying to pick up her second foul this early on. So well played on both sides. Wilson, the long 2. It's just off the rim. It's going to go out of bounds. Ball going Lincoln's way.
Joseph's been a good presence here for TRC early on as well, too. A couple offensive rebounds, chasing things down, making Lincoln work on the glass.
Here's that zone pressure that we've talked about. Ennis and Wilson looking to trap. They pass out of it, though. Here's Hall attacking. She gets right to the basket. 2 more for Lincoln Prep.
Nice pass by Maskowicz. That got in and out quickly, which is a great way to beat the pressure. You get the ball go in one direction, gets back to the middle. You get the defense scrambling, people can go right to the rim.
Arab Smith looking to cross over on Becker. It's going to be tipped off her leg, though, so the ball is going to go over to Lincoln Prep. That defensive intensity you talked about for Becker paying dividends early here for the Huskies. And right back the other way, there's Ennis with a tip off of Hall, so it's going to go right back to TRC.
Yeah, those 2, I think, are 2 of the more fun ones to watch defensively in the league. They both can make so much happen. They have a bit of that sense, and it seems like great defensive players have that sense of when you can jump passing lanes, the ability to bait you into throwing something because they can cover a little more ground than you're anticipating.
It's going to be a hold there on Hall, trying to deny Ennis's entry pass. It's going to remain with TRC here. They get it into Ennis. Here's Wilson at the top for TRC. That one's tipped away from Becker at the high post. TRC getting a little trouble getting into their offense. Late in the shot clock again, but Day gets an open look from the top. That one's off. The fight for the rebound comes down to Hall, and here comes Lincoln. Great pass ahead by Becker. Finds Rainford to a cutting Maskowicz, and her shot's not going to trickle in, but she'll go to the line. Foot 2.
What a tricky little pass. Rainford kind of caught that one. It looked like she'd thrown it at the defender, but actually she lays her leg, trying to put her leg into the passing lane. It goes underneath her foot. I mean, just a crafty little pass there by Rainford.
Crafty. Love that.
This is one of the challenging times for all teams. So a game starts 8-0 against you if you're TRC, and it does feel like there's a lot of pressure. 9-0 now, but those types of scores feel much different than an 8-point window at a later stage in the game. So it just has that sense to it. But the reality is, I think that, as we've touched on a couple times already, TRC's had some pretty good shots. Even that last trip down ended up with Day with a wide open look. They've had Wilson with a clean look from 3, so they've had probably some shots they want. They had 2 trips to the free throw line. Just nothing seems to have fallen early. What you have to avoid, the challenge for TRC right now on the staff, is just to keep them calm and continue to play the way you are and just trust the process that those shots will start to go here at some point.
I think the players just got tied up there on that rebound attempt. So it's going to go, we're just going to have a little bit of a break here as both teams sort that out. All right, so checking in for Lincoln is Emily Martindale, Lincoln's first sub of the game. Here's TRC comes out, and we just had Josephs checking in on that free throw for Zulich. So let's see how TRC responds, trying to cut into this 10-0 Lincoln Prep lead here, 5.5 minutes here in the first. They try to inbound it to Ennis. Over the top, it's going to be tipped out of bounds off Martindale, though. Ball remains with the Wolfpack.
Yeah, it became interesting right away. It's always a bit of a dangerous pass, the baseline when you throw it across the backboard. That one did, it hit the bottom of it, and once it deflects anything, it's always a bit of a mystery of where it's going to go.
They're able to inbound it to Josephs, who finds a cutting Arab Smith, but right on the sideline, so it's going to go off of her and out of bounds. Ball right back to the Lincoln Prep Huskies.
Yeah, I see Lincoln's now taking Becker off the front of the pressure. She's in the back end just because they're matched up player to player, but this is causing TRC some challenges right now, and it's actually just the entry pass that's causing them the majority of their problems as opposed to actions once it's in.
Pockernick's pass over the top to Hall, a little bit out of reach, but she's able to corral it. Here's Pockernick now, the deep three. It's no good. Day's able to get that rebound, and here's Arab Smith looking to push. They find Ennis in transition. She's so deadly here. She gets right to the basket, plus the foul. She'll be at the line for the three-point opportunity.
Yeah, and Day deserves a bunch of credit for that. When you get a rebound in a crowd, one of the challenges is to get that ball over there quickly. Day found a nice job of getting that, ripping, stepping through the 2 defenders. Then that puts one pass, which is her first outlet pass, is now ahead of 3 of the defenders. That gives Michaela Ennis so much space. And as you said, she's deadly in that area.
Michaela Ennis currently the leading scorer in the OSBA, so definitely someone Lincoln's going to have to watch and not one that they want to start to get going early on here. Unable to hit the free throw. Here comes Becker. Martindale looking to drive on Arab Smith. Her dribble's just going to go off her leg, though. It's going to go right back to TRC.
Both these teams have shown that they're at their most comfortable getting their opponents to speed up. So this game could get going pretty quick for some stretches, as both teams will like to have the defensive pressure do that.
Remaining in that man full court. Arab Smith working against Martindale. He comes off the day screen looking to attack against Becker. Gets to the little finger roll, and she's able to finish there. 2 crafty moves for TRC, and then the pressure there causing Pockernick to travel. It's going to go right back over to the Wolfpack.
Yeah, and that's the part of Ennis that we've touched on already, just around it. Sometimes it doesn't have to be the steal. Sometimes you have to throw the offensive player off and they go to get the catch. It gets them to shuffle their feet. It's just being around, creating that kind of presence can cause all kinds of havoc on getting the ball in bounds.
They get into Arab Smith. She shoots a 3 from deep, no good, but Day's able to clean up another O board. Oh, we have a stoppage there, just a shot clock. Reset to 24 instead of the 14, so we're going to have 14 on the shot clock here. TRC to inbounds from the sideline. Wilson inbounds to Arab Smith. She's working against Martindale on the right wing. Tied up there by Maskowicz, but the great pass there by Wilson to find Josephs open at the high post, unable to finish. It's Maskowicz looking to drive now. Pass up top to Becker. Her 3 rattles out. Arab Smith comes down with it for TRC.
I like the find from Maskowicz. Could only reach to the basket and find someone back at the top. The only challenge, the pass pulled Becker a little bit off her spot. So I think usually they say once you pull a shooter about 3 steps to get the ball caught and corralled, it kind of takes them out of their shooting rhythm.
Here's Wilson, the pass to Josephs down low, just out of the reach. It's going to go off her hands, out of bounds. It's going to go over to Lincoln. Here's that zone press look from TRC with Ennis at the front. Lincoln looks to pass over the top, just out of the reach of Josephs to Maskwich. She looks to drive on Day, and Maskwich is going to be called for the offensive charge there.
Yeah, Day doesn't. There's a bit of a sense there. When you play a fair amount of pressure, you get a sense of where you are in the back end, and you could tell Day had a real good feel for where she was in relation to that charge circle. So both heels were kind of hanging around the top side of that, made sure she was able to step out when the attack came towards her.
Looking at Josephs cutting in from half to relieve the pressure. Unable to do so. The ball bouncing around a bunch though, and then Day's able to come up with it, stealing away from Maskwich. She's going to go coast to coast and finish for 2.
Yeah, a little fortunate play there from Maskwich. Heads up play by Day though, just to realize Maskwich is being a little casual with the basketball and just took it right from her.
Here's Becker again, this time from the left wing 3, just a bit off. It's going to go out of bounds. Ball going over to TRC.
Basketball's a funny game the way momentum can feel so different so quickly. I mean, we went from just 2 moments ago being 10-0, and we were talking the time about just TRC making sure they keep their cool, and then you fast forward those 2 minutes, and now all of a sudden it feels like everything's going TRC's way. They're back into this stuff. They've had a couple plays, a couple bounces out of half go their direction as well too. So things get changed so quickly, and there's 33 still more minutes to go.
Arab Smith, the left-hand finger roll is able to finish around Maskwich. And there we have a timeout, Lincoln.
Yeah, and that one was part of the icing on the cake, I guess, in terms of the momentum going, forces Lincoln into this timeout. But Erin Smith had a couple nice moves, and once she's got inside that 3-point line, she's used that change of speed to make those happen. So we saw the ball screen earlier when she was coming off Day, a little hesitation, then got right to the left hand going to the rim. This time gets herself in the paint, and again, it's that change of speed going right to left, draws the contact and the finish. So 2 nice little plays for her coming out of the last timeout that have really changed probably the complexion of this on offense.
And both finishing over top of bigger, longer defenders. So the ability to do that, putting some pressure on that back line of the Lincoln defense.
Mm-hmm. And we'll remember, too, Arab Smith had the one earlier in the quarter, the drive earlier in the quarter that drew the foul on the Lincoln defenders as well, too. So this will just be, if she can keep that trend going, as you're saying, if the pressure goes on the rim, if you can keep that piece going, it's going to force them to either back off it, stay out of it, or someone's going to get involved in a foul they don't want to be in.
So both teams, as we talked about, have put on the pressure. We've seen a different look from Lincoln than we do normally see with their man pressure so far. Do you think they'll mix it up and get to that zone look sometime here in the first quarter? Do you think they're going to save that for later in the game? How do you think they're going to manage that, Stephen?
Yeah, great question. They've shown throughout the season a couple different ways they manage that piece, meaning how quickly they show things, how often they stay in other items. I think right now with the success they're having just in player-to-player picking up full court, that they're probably going to stay in that for a little bit longer. You'd want to see some sort of sign that TRC has a plan or a break to it before you get out of it most cases.
And right away we see TRC back in that zone look. And they're going to trap Brantford right over half. It's going to be tipped off of Day, though. It's going to remain with Lincoln. 14 on the shot clock, though. TRC dropping back into their man after the press. They find a cutting read underneath. 5 on the shot clock here for Lincoln. Let's see how they manage it. Becker at the high post. Has to put up a contested jumper. It's no good. Follows her own miss, though. So put back, she'll be fouled. She'll go to the line for 2.
Nice job by Becker. It's tough when you receive a pass under 5 seconds and it's not a straight kick out. Trying to create some offense is always tricky because everyone knows you're coming. So Becker does a nice job with a little bit of a pivot and a rip at the top there to get herself enough space to get the first shot off. Those are always low percentage shots when you're trying to force something late, but she's able to put it on the rim, give her a chance to track her own thing down, and once that kind of work got rewarded by drawing a foul on the second attempt.
Becker able to hit both from the line. 2 more points for Lincoln Prep. They now lead 12-8.
We'll see, as you touched on, Max Lincoln staying now, just trying to put some pressure on the inbounding pass as the early pressure.
Here's that full court Marin. Arab Smith goes off the high screen. She gets that foul line jumper just a bit too strong. Becker comes down with another rebound. They swing it around. Here's Rainford from the top. Finds Becker on the baseline. Her jumper just a bit short. Ennis comes up with it.
Like Becker again in transition, though. I think she's got a real composed sense to her when she's out in open space, seeing what's going on, reading the defense, knowing where the basketball should go to get the opportunity.
Ennis picked off there by McMillan, but able to tip it right back to Arab Smith. She's bringing it up against 3 Lincoln defenders. Hall's able to come up with it for the Huskies. Hall passes it up. They swing it around. 16 on the clock. Becker gets a good look from the top. It's no good. Ennis is able to get that rebound for the Wolfpack.
And Becker's had some clean looks for them now at the top. Probably about 3 threes that haven't been able to go for.
Another tip away from Arab Smith from Rainford. That one's going to go in. It's going to go to TRC. I believe we have a timeout here.
Well, not sure what this one is, but as we sort through this a bit, one thing I want to build on from the last one is they've had Becker now get a few opportunities at the top and on kick-out shots. So there was the one we did touch on with Maskowicz that pulled her a little bit off her spot, but on top of that, she's probably had 3 other ones where she has been set, had clean looks, and hasn't been able to get them to go. So most times when you had a shooter that's proven as Becker is, if you continue to give them those opportunities, it's going to start to go here at some point. And we actually saw in our game of the week on Tuesday the same thing happen. 4 or 5 shots don't fall. The next thing you know, 3 or 4 do go in a row. So we'll see how Becker does here in the next couple quarters.
With that sub, we have Arab Smith checking out. Wilson in to bring up the ball here now for the Wolfpack after those few turnovers. She's able to get it over to Zulich, who will be fouled on the attempt. And she'll be at the line for 2.
And the game of runs continues right now for both sides. So Lincoln comes out and pushes it up. TRC comes back, has a response. Now Lincoln's on a little bit of their own here again too. So it would be nice to kind of stem this a bit if you're TRC. Don't let the Lincoln run get going. Tide it over a bit so you can swing it back in your favor.
Zulich able to convert the first free throw for TRC Academy. Let's see if that's going to take the lid off the basket for them here from the line. 1 for 5 so far. Oh, and there it is. 2 for 2.
That's what you need sometimes, just one to get it going.
And that got the boys' teams into it. It's a loud atmosphere at TRC. Palkernip driving. Her pass is tipped away that time by Zulich. Here comes Wilson. Wilson looking to find Josephs down low. The pass is just too high. It's going to go off her hand. It's going to go over to Lincoln Pratt.
Yeah, that one's probably just Wilson wanted that one a little too much. You probably saw Joseph like the matchup, but got a little honed in on it. And by the time you take 3 or 4 dribbles watching that play out, most times defense is going to rotate somebody over. That was the case, so essentially just throwing in towards like a double team or a crowd. Not too often that ends up with good outcomes.
And with that, we have Ennis checking right back into the game for the Wolfpack. Looking to get a deflection there on the top. No, out of reach. Skoskin just checked in for the Huskies. Her shot's off, and here's Ennis going in transition. She gets a little side set jumper this time, just short. It's going to go off Hall out of bounds, so it's going to remain with TRC.
And of all the ones Ennis has had in transition we've seen throughout this year, that's probably the one I like the least. And just because I felt like she had the tools and the advantage to go get to the rim right on top of that defender, but she settled for what was a sliding step back mid-range jumper.
Sliding step back. Wilson's pass is tipped there. She's able to get it back herself, gets right to the rim, and she's able to finish for 2.
Yeah, a lot of credit for taking that contact and keeping balance. So a lot of times you see athletes get that contact that Wilson got, and then they'll start to flail with it to put their shot up. But Wilson took an extra dribble, made sure she held her balance before going to the shot attempt.
TRC giving that zone look here on defense. Lincoln a little bit confused. They get a late shot clock. Skoskin shot's too strong. Zulich is able to clean up the glass. Here's Ennis looking to push. Wilson a deep 3 right before the clock. Frazier comes down with it and puts it in right before the buzzer. 14-14 at the end of the first.
You know, it's a lot of coaches believe in the flush. Actually, I really like this, that Wilson takes that shot with about 3 seconds left as opposed to trying to shoot it at the buzzer, and that's the reason why is there's enough time to give yourself a chance on the offensive glass, which is what happened. Frazier's around it. She gets a chance to pick one more stab at tying this thing up, which she did. But if you wait till the 0-0, there's no opportunity for any of that. No offensive rebound, no foul drawn, nothing else going to continue. But on the flip of that, you got to think if Wilson's shot misses and Lincoln gets it, you've got to trust that you can defend from the 90-foot mark for 3 seconds. Yeah, that's kind of the trail of what you think you're giving yourself. The chance of the offensive rebound versus that time to get all the way down the floor for a shot attempt the other way.
And Wilson is probably the person, if you want most from TRC, to be taking that late second shot. One of the premier three-point shooters in the OSBA. So all in all, it's probably just what the coach wanted.
Yeah, totally. And to build on that, like Wilson had the last one where she, as we talked about, she was able to maintain balance through some contact, just had a shot go in. So sometimes you feel like for your shooters, if they've had the success of putting one in there, maybe she's in a bit of a rhythm. So you'd love to have her get that clean look. She felt in a bit of rhythm, so it's a good way to end the quarter for them, and they have a positive outcome. On the flip of that, on the defensive side for TRC, it also felt like Ennis had a real big presence in that quarter. She must have had 3 or 4 tips. She had a couple steals. She got herself into transition. So the two pieces they're going to want to build on is probably still the same quality shots they had throughout that quarter, and they continue to get this defense to create some of their offense for them.
On the other side, Lincoln's man press causing big problems for TRC. Even just ball handlers bringing it up after they break the inbound, after they get it inbound. The tips have been there, so we'll see if TRC can clean that up or if Lincoln can maintain that pressure and continue to cause problems for the...
Yeah, I think Lincoln's got a little left in the bag, so some things they can show in their different pressure, but you're right. The success they're having right now hasn't called for anything else.
The corner three from Becker's no good, but Hall's right there to clean it up. She hits 2 for the putback.
That was probably the best one looking coming to Becker's hands yet, so we touched a bit on if she can get herself into rhythm, and personally would have a bunch of confidence in that right now. They've looked fairly good, but that was the best one yet, I thought.
Wilson able to get by Pockernick, but then tied up in the air. She'll get called for the travel. It's going to go back to Lincoln.
So to continue with that, I thought for the ones Becker had early, they all seemed a little bit short. Just a couple of them seemed to go on the left. This one seemed dead on the mark, kind of got inside the rim and popped back out. If I was Lincoln and you could find something to get her back in that corner against the zone, give her one more crack at, that's where I would go.
Here's Pockernick, kicks out to Hall. Pockernick now in the corner, a long 2, and it's good.
Great shot, great offense, pulling the zone high, throwing back behind it. You'd like to see Pockernick just take that half step back and make it a 3-pointer as opposed to 2. It feels like you're nitpicking, but I mean for the extra point, that's essentially the same shot for her. She's worked herself down in that corner. They clearly are getting the bottom defender to guard the ball handler, pull it away from there. So if you're going to have that pocket, someone like Pockernick that can make the 3, you might as well stay on the 3-point line as opposed to one foot on it.
It would be ideal, but she made it, so we'll take it.
Yeah, always take the good shots. That's fair.
We have a little clock malfunction here. So we'll get that sorted out as both teams go to their bench. 9:31 we have here with a 5-point Lincoln Prep lead.
Yeah, it looks like the score is what we're trying to work out on the clock right now, and a couple other items, but we'll see now. The first 2 Lincoln's had against the zone offense down here against TRC, they've run both times something that's pulling something from the baseline towards the top and then throwing it back where they came from. So that got Becker one on the far side from where we're sitting, and this last one for Parker on the short side. So we'll see if they're going to do the same thing, or if that's now a TRC's had this kind of quasi timeout, if they can now make a kind of adjustment to that, try and pass off that ball handler a little earlier back to the top defenders and keep somebody on the baseline with the shooters.
And here's TRC inbound, so it's a 5-point lead. We believe that Pockernick basket was changed to a 3-pointer there. Oh, no, it was a 2. It's back to 18. Wilson driving on Pockernick. She's able to get right in the lane, unable to finish that though. Maskwich cleans it up, but the pressure, Day's able to come up with it. Joseph, the quick trigger from the high post, no good. Pockernick comes down with it for Lincoln Prep. Maskwich is blocked from Day at the top. Fraser kicks ahead to Day. She's going to go in transition, and she's able to finish for 2.
Yeah, you love that one for Day. Whenever you have someone running towards the top of the challenger shot, you usually teach us to keep on going, hoping that exact scenario is going to play out. You've got deflection, hope one of your teammates picks that behind you, and you'll be in behind the defense, which she was. So nice play by Day to go and challenge. Nice job finishing the run.
Pockernick driving, they swing around. Here's Becker in the corner. Her 3 just short. The fight for the rebound, Ennis is able to come up with it.
I like they went back to Becker, but would say maybe they shouldn't be listening to me since she couldn't get that one to go either. It's where I wanted it, didn't fall.
Swinging it around, here's Ennis at the top, guarded by Hall. Ennis gets over, gets around the Maskwich hedge. Here's Wilson, late on the shot clock, 1 now. Gets a little lefty jumper, no good, but able to clean up the miss. Kicks it over to Josephs, her jumper just off. Becker comes down with it for Lincoln. Here's Becker looking to push for Lincoln. Coast to coast, gets right in there. Wilson's going to be called for the foul, Becker will be at the line for 2.
I really like Becker in transition. I'm going to say the same point from earlier because I think it's so key. She just seems totally in control as she goes through this. Like, works herself across half, seems to be scanning the floor of what's going on, has the sense and the drive of still going towards the rim so that pressure's on it, but in control at any point she could stop and make a pass. So on the flip, I want to go back to this last possession for TRC, and I think that if they saw what I saw, I'd be going at Maskwich a little bit right now. She seemed to come out on that hedge. I don't know if she's tired or disengaged in the ball screen piece, but got a little stuck there at the top of the floor. They got all the way by her before she started the recovery path. And then the same thing on the rebound. Her effort did not seem the typical level that we see of her. So whether it is that she's a little tired or what's going on, I'd go explore that a bit if I was TRC. Maybe you can get her in a situation where she's going to pick up a foul that she shouldn't be, or maybe not as engaged on defense as she should be right now as well.
That's fair. And then to touch on that Becker point, we have talked a lot about when we have had Lincoln here on the Game of the Weeks, both Maskwich and Becker's ability to take it right from the rebound and push themselves. So it's paying dividends again, getting right to the basket for Becker. We'll see if they continue to exploit that.
Good point.
Late in the shot clock again for TRC. Here we have Ennis looking to drive on the left-hand side. She's contested by Becker. Maskwich comes up with it. And here comes Becker. The crossover on Fraser. She finds Martindale open for the corner 3, just off. Ennis comes down with the board.
Yeah, and there were your 2 doing both of that. Maskwich gets that one, gets it going forward direction to Becker, and Becker then takes it in there to create a shot for her teammate. So on your call, they deliver.
So timely, that call. Wilson able to get right into the key, finds an open Zulich, unable to convert, but again an offensive rebound for TRC, and then the putback is good.
And they did get Maskwich back into a ball screen there, and she was better than the previous time in terms of getting out and back, but still seems to be a little slow in her reaction and balance, I guess, on the hedge that she shows versus being able to recover.
Faulknick's pass is picked off from Fraser on the wing. She gets it to Wilson. She's going to slow it down for TRC. One thing we have seen so far is TRC is hitting that offensive glass with much success. Lincoln's going to have to clean up the boards if they're going to keep in the lead, and right on cue, Zulich cleans up Wilson's miss. Ennis from the top gets in the lane, finds an open Wilson. Here's Fraser for 3, just off. Ennis, though, with the follow, and she's able to finish for 2.
Oh, nice finish there. The skill that takes to collect it on one side, turn your body, finish around the rim. Really like that one from Ennis. Nice touch in there.
Lincoln Prep looking to get it around. They find Becker on the block. She's working on Day. Her fadeaway's no good. Maskwich follows it up. She'll be tied up by Day, though. It's going to be jump ball going to TRC.
I like that for Lincoln, though. You come down and you get Becker a touch now on the block, something in close there. She gets a chance to go to her left hand where she likes to go to finish. Maskwich then gets involved and goes and gets herself an offensive rebound. So while you lose that to a jump ball, I think it's still a lot of positives. The jump ball is just a possession arrow in this scenario. So you get a good shot, you get an offensive rebound, you win the arrow back is the way you got to look at that piece for Lincoln. I'd say it's a very positive possession.
Here's TRC looking to inbound. Maskwich picks it off, gets right to the rim. She'll be fouled. She'll go to line for 2. So again, once Wilson goes out, the pressure getting steals on the inbound for Lincoln. We'll see if TRC can try and switch things up and figure that out.
So I feel like I've been on Maskwich for a couple possessions, but I got to give her credit on this one. So she's bathed them in a couple times now. Anything they flash late in the pressure, they come something from half coming towards the ball to bail out the guards. she's almost allowed her opponent to take the first step or two. They get themselves into a bit of a trot, for lack of a better term for it. Then she runs a beeline in front of that and cuts it off. So she's had 2 tips and now a straight steal for this part. So she's fallen into that category. Put Becker and Ennis a bit earlier, of almost baiting them into throwing something, and then goes and jumps the passing lane.
Here's Arab Smith working against Baliabiakubo. She's tied up there by Maskwich. The steal then by Hall. She's going to push the other way. She's looking to finish. She's going to jump into Zulich. She'll go to the line for 2 with the foul call.
Yeah, and that was a much better job of Maskwich in the ball screen too. So all things have been righted.
She heard you, Steve. She heard you.
She did a great job on that one. Got her chest on it, stopped the ball handler, forced her to pick it up. That allowed Hall to come from the weak side, jump that passing lane. But it all started by her coverage in the top. So we've got a fired up crowd here, which is great in TRC.
I love it.
Awesome environment they're playing in. But one of the keys that you touched on a bit earlier with the free throw shooting, when you're Lincoln and you get a chance to go to the line, that slows things down. It's tough for the crowd to keep going those pieces. And if you can just chip away at these free throws are always big when you're a visiting team. Hit the free throws just to stem the tide some, stem the momentum, quiet things down.
Fight for the rebound. Baliabiakubo comes up with it, tips it over to Maskwich. Hall on the right wing now finds a cutting Maskwich right to the rim, and she's able to finish for 2.
Yeah, nice cut. It felt like the defense got all matched up, but then they almost got caught flat-footed. Maskwich just cuts in front of her, straight basket cut to the rim.
Again, trouble inbounding for TRC. That one's going to be tipped out of bounds from Baliabiakubo. I believe he's going to say then went off Arab Smith, though, so it's going to go over to Lincoln.
You know what, I feel like TRC had a lot of hesitation throwing to the middle flash, which is what it appeared was their press break strategy coming to the game. Middle flash comes through there. Maskwich got the last one. She jumped this one again too, so they had to throw something over the top. They may go back to that, but now there's some hesitation probably in that as well. We
do have Wilson checking back in, who has been a great pressure relief for TRC, so we'll look to see if she can help them some coming out here. Maskwich able to get the rebound right over Wilson. She's able to get the putback to go. 4 quick points for Maskwich.
Maskwich takes advantage there. The zone matchup ends up with Wilson on Maskwich. That's the way the zone's lined up. That's part of it. But when Maskwich recognizes that, as soon as the ball goes out, she just takes Wilson right to the rim and tries to almost box her out from the offensive perspective. Give herself an inside advantage for the rebounding.
Ennis gets around the Maskwich hedge, unable to convert, gets her own rebound though. Finds Joseph Sokin on the block. Her shot's going to be blocked. She gets the offensive rebound again though. Gets into the post. This time it's going to be fouled by Maskwich. She'll go to the line for 2.
Nice work by Joseph. You just stay active on that one. You keep going. So you earn yourself 2 or 3 chances. And the other piece that is, not only did she get the ball, but she also was working herself back towards the rim, and that's how she got the foul drawn. She's going to the rim as the defense is trying to come cut you off. You get that contact where both going towards each other. Most times it's going to advantage the offensive player.
That is also Maskwich's second foul here with 4:30 remaining in the second, so something to watch here for Lincoln.
Yeah, they have the lead at the moment with Maskwich. You can almost give her a breather, see how this goes, but I wouldn't be surprised if this the chance to give her 2.5, maybe let her come back and finish the final 2 minutes as well.
Joseph's able to hit this first, but unable the second, but again, offensive rebound for TRC, and here's Ennis on the left corner, just short. Rebound comes down to Lincoln Prep. Here's McMillan pushing, couldn't find anything, pulls it out though. Here's Becker on the left wing. Martindale, the quick trigger 3, just rattles out. Ennis looks to come down with it, but it's going to step on the end line. Ball, Lincoln Prep. It looks like Ennis is going to call for a sub here, so we're going to have Zulich and Selby both checking in for TRC. So some new faces here for the Wolfpack. They're looking to find Becker down low. Good job by Wilson, though, cutting that off. Here's McMillan at the top. Gets right into the key. Now finds Becker. Unable to hit. The rebound's tipped away, and Arab Smith comes up with it.
What a great pass by McMillan. The all-in and a little shovel underneath there. It's beautiful find.
Here's Arab Smith working against McMillan at the top. She's able to get in the key. The foul line jumper's just short. The fight for the rebound. Becker's able to come up with it. She's pushing herself. Here's Baliabiakubo in stride. Little up fake on Wilson's able to finish with the reverse plus the foul.
I still love the play by Becker. Get that on the beginning. So you get it. It's almost like a rip through. Then the dribble comes out to break herself out. And it's a tough pass when you go that straight line from rim to rim, meaning Balabiku was right in front of her. So Becker's pass is a straight line. That's a tough catch. But she does it. She gets in there, gets the defender to go up, and draws a nice finish.
Here's Balabiku. Shot is off. Exelby's able to clean it up for TRC. Here's Arab Smith. TRC a little miscommunication there, whether it's going to be a screen or a post up. Lincoln's coming the other way, and Martindale outrunning all the TRC players, and she's able to get right to the rim for 2. And with that, we have a timeout. TRC 30-21. Lincoln Prep leads.
Yeah, it changed a bit of the dynamic. This is the first time we've seen TRC without either Ennis or Day on the floor together, and just had a bit of a sense that on the offensive end they weren't sure who the primary options were. So while they're still a very capable lineup out there, I think it's just that little indecision of what they're going to do, and it led to the last serve, as you said, is coming to screen or is it going to be a pass, and ends up being just errant and allows for an easy breakout for Lincoln. So you never remove a piece of the game, Max, but this part it started 10-0. They take yourself back and now it goes a run. As you've studied that piece of that very front part, it's actually been a very competitive game, meaning the score's probably been separated by 1 or 2 points since that stretch. But the really interesting piece of that is it still continued to be on runs, or it feels like on runs in that part. So you'll go through a 3-minute stretch, it seems to be all one team's direction. As soon as that flicks, it goes the other team's direction. So what both these teams are probably going to try and play with, I'm assuming in the last 3 minutes now, is what's something you can dabble in a bit that's created those opportunities for you? Like, has it been something you've done pressure-wise? It may have worked. Is something you can change on the defensive side? Or is it something you can take away from them? I'm assuming TRC is going to want to come back with some of that ball screen action. They had Arab Smith early on getting her back to the paint, see if they can build them a little bit of momentum. And I think on the Lincoln side, this might be a chance where you can change with the pressure you have been showing, and then you can talk about halftime what you want to do with the 2 different looks in the second half.
Here you go, TRC to inbounds. We have Arab Smith taking it out. She gets it into Ennis. Better job there from the Wolfpack to inbound. Arab Smith working on the pressure defense on Martindale, a little tied up. High ball screen here with Josephs. They get it to Ennis on the right wing. Her 3, too strong. Josephs, though, fighting for the rebound. She's going to get it. She'll get fouled. She'll go to the line for 2.
Yeah, the big rebounds by Joseph. So I feel their last couple of buckets have come from this. Anytime you have someone that's earning you points through just hard work, which is what offensive rebounds fall under, it brings a lot of energy to the team and to the bench. You could see that on the TRC.
Joseph's able to hit the first. And the second.
This has allowed TRC now is going to have both Ennis and Day back on the floor.
So we have Lincoln bring it up. TRC looks like they're remaining in that zone. They can find Balabiku in the corner. She's going to drive. Joseph's challenge, unable to hit that one. Day comes down with the rebound.
It's a good rebound for Day. There's a couple hands on that, so they just stay with it. Kind of a deflected and bouncing ball.
Able to pass around. The defense finds Wilson cutting down. She's going to a little bit dribble off the leg, though. It's going to go over to Lincoln.
Bit of a flip story from earlier. Again, a beautiful use of change of speed. Kind of got the defender step up a bit. They went to go by her. Got a piece of that contact, which almost would have sealed off the lane of where she wanted to go. But this time, unlike earlier, Wilson got that contact, just seemed to lose the handle, and the ball went out of bounds on her.
A little bit of an unlucky look there for TRC, as that is usually what they want. And they're able to come up with the steal on the pressure. Ennis gets it in transition, able to get right to the basket for 2.
And we see Lincoln also came back to Maska, which was the thing we touched on as a possibility earlier.
Pass over the top to Thur, and she finds Becker. Her pass is swatted out of bounds by Josephs, though. It's going to remain with Lincoln, 17 on the shot clock.
Yeah, you break that one. You can see Lincoln. This is the same thing I was going to say. You can see the Lincoln bench yelling at Becker. You break the pressure like that, you expect her down the block to go, even if it's one-on-one. Like, that's your chance to go get a shot and finish that, please.
Here's Thur at the long 2. Too strong. Wilson comes down with it for TRC. She's looking up to find her teammates. No one there. She's going to push herself, and it'll be a foul call there on Balabiku. It'll be TRC ball.
Yeah, and you get some of those calls. If you continue to push in transition, you get people starting to go, as Wilson was on that one. Sometimes you pick up those extra fouls. That stuff can lead to bonus. So you see teams often early in quarters trying to get some momentum early, is push the pace, get towards some contact, and just trying to set yourself up for later on and a bonus opportunity.
And as we have seen before, TRC at sometimes has struggled to score in the half court and been ever so effective in transition. So just get out and run, girls. Go get it. Here's Wilson getting tied up by McMillan. We have 3 on the shot clock. Her deep 3, and it's good! Wilson from long range.
Wow, I tell you, sometimes doesn't matter how you get there sometimes, just as long as it finishes up where it's supposed to. That was ended up in a totally broken play. Ball's going away from her. Wilson just picks it up and lets it go. So
I love it. To the person we said, that's who you want shooting them.
Yeah, fair. I don't know if that is the one. I mean, Wilson made a real tough shot. I mean, we're going to hope she gets a little bit more of a shooting range most times. But, hey, she's got the touch for it. She gets the feel and gets that one to go at the end of a clock. So late clock are always tough shots. Wilson made this one count.
Yeah, not that one. She made it look easy.
Now, this will be, I think it's a bit of a decision time for Lincoln. So we had gone back to Massachusetts, where they talked about. But there's a lot of things going well for TRC at this piece. And as funny as this sounds, you got to weigh this a little bit. It's a pretty tight game. You got to feel good with where you're going to be going to halftime. Do you want to put her in a scenario where she's going to be exposed to a potential third foul? My gut would lean a little bit towards no now, mostly because it seems like she's the primary person involved in that ball screen defense right now, which means she's going to have a lot of actions around her, a lot happening. She's a very active rebounder. She gets in those places. So she's going to be exposed probably to 20 to 30 more opportunities to draw a foul on her in this last little bit. So you probably want to keep her out of that situation. Yeah, I know the number seems high, but if you take a ball screen scenario and an offensive rebound scenario, you can get like 2 or 3 within the possession.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. And she is in, so both Becker, Maskowicz are in for Lincoln Prep, also with Skoskin, Baljakubo, and Taran. The Wolfpack pick up in the full court pressure, the zone look. Baljakubo is able to break free. She swings over to Maskowicz. Didn't look like the 3, gets the pull up right inside the lane, unable to go. Wilson comes down with the rebound.
Yeah, and that's why you do play her. So that's the counter to it, because it brings you some instant offense that way. She's such a threat. It's a great-looking shot for them. They're probably very pleased with that possession. So, and now we're going to see the flip side, ensuring she stays out of trouble in these scenarios.
Wilson, they get the screen switch so she could go baseline. She kicks it out. Here's Arab Smith. Here's Ennis, now a deep 3, late shot clock, just short. Lincoln comes up with it, and they're looking to push themselves. Skoskin finds Baljakubo, the deep 3 on the right wing. It's no good. Maskowicz able to get that offensive rebound, though. Her pass a little bit off. Here's TRC, 55 seconds remaining in the half.
Yeah, Lincoln showing almost a little too unselfish here at times. We had a Rainford one early. We had a Becker one out of the press break, and now we got Maskowicz. Probably prefer them to take those shot opportunities that they have as opposed to making the extra pass.
Here's Wilson calling for the screen. 4 on the shot clock. Again, super late for TRC. She gets the pull-up this time inside. It's no good. Didn't hit the shot clock, but since Lincoln had it, they're going to be able to push. They get Becker in transition, who's able to get right to her left hand and finish at the rim. So we have TRC ball here, 20 seconds in the half. They'll have last shot if they want it. Here's Ennis working off the day screen, gets into the key, challenges Maskowicz. No foul call. Joseph, though, is going to go up, and it's going to be a foul. I believe it's on Becker, though. It is on Becker. Joseph will be at the line for 2.
And Joseph has really been a very positive story for TRC down the stretch. Her offensive rebounding has created trips to the line, has created some offense, has kept them going. The Maskowicz decision by Lincoln is going to be extremely positive. She had a bunch of the offensive category for them. Stayed out of foul trouble. I probably was a little ambitious in the count. Probably only about 12 or so scenarios that she was exposed to, but stayed out of all 12. And now they're going to finish with one more offensive possession.
Joseph's able to hit both from the line again. So we have Rainford here checking in late for Becker. So we have 6 seconds on the clock. Maskowicz inbound for the Huskies. Let's see what the Huskies coach has drawn up.
This is enough time to put the ball on the floor, though.
They look to pass over the top, but Wilson's able to steal it. Oh, sorry. Just get a hand on it. Skoskin gets a good look. Baljakubo with a follow, too strong. And then the fight for the offensive rebound. No good. So at the half, we have a 32-30 lead for Lincoln. Great matchup so far here in Brantford.
Exactly what we were hoping for. You get the 1-2 seed. I think whoever wins this one, if I'm not mistaken on tiebreakers, whoever has this has sole possession of first place. So you're expecting to come in here and have this kind of atmosphere, which we have, then be this kind of game. So great start for both teams. First half showed a little bit of what both teams do defensively. I think there's still a little bit in the bag for Lincoln we might see in the second half, but everything we've hoped for has come to fruition.
Leading scorers in the first half for Lincoln Prep, we have Maskowicz with 9, Becker with 8, and Hall with 7. Leading scorers for TRC are Ennis with 6, Wilson and Josephs both with 5. All right, so coming out of the half, we have a 2-point Lincoln Prep lead. Steven, what are your keys to the second half for both teams?
I think the key for Lincoln coming out now is to minimize the offensive rebounding that TRC had in the second quarter in particular. And the last 6 minutes, Joseph was probably a big factor in that. They could find a way to keep her off the glass. That's the number one thing for them. The second piece for Lincoln is probably to continue their pressure and have some sort of disruption. TRC side, it's almost like the flip of that. They've got to continue to generate some offense through the offensive rebounding and through their defense. And the second piece of them is to find someone to make some shots, get a little hot.
And we have a key insider tip from Agnes Borg today, OBA technical lead. Her key to the game for second half for TRC is see how they can get Savannah Day involved in the offensive ends. Let's see if they can get her going, put up some points for the Wolfpack.
Great insight. Like to get this. We've been auditioning for sideline reporters, so glad we finally had some responses.
We're still waiting for you guys to apply. elite@basketball.on.ca. We want you. And just like that, Michaela Ennis picks up a foul in the full court, fouling Lauren Rainford in transition. It's going to be Lincoln ball on the side. Here's TRC dropping back into that zone D we saw a lot of in the first half. They get Becker at the high post, finds a cutting Maskwitch. She's going to be challenged at the rim by Joseph. It's going to be called a foul. She'll be at the line for 2.
Great high-low. What a tough thing to defend. If you're the middle defender in that, which Joseph was, the ball just goes from middle of the floor to one side of the key, and then almost like a touch pass from Becker to Maskwitch to the other side of the key. And then Maskwitch does a great play at keeping the ball chin high towards the rim as opposed to going anything on the floor. As a defender, you're caught almost spinning a bit, so huge disadvantage and draw the foul, but great pass, great heads-up play.
Lincoln Prep continuing to hit from the line. There's another point for Maskwitch. And able to hit again. Able to get into Wilson, bringing it up against Pockernick. Wilson using the Day screen. They get it back to Day. Here's a long 2 jumper, just short. Becker comes down with the rebound.
And the piece we've talked about now is the forwards, or Becker and Maskwitch both playing a big piece in starting transition for Lincoln.
Maskwitch gets in the key, tied up there by Wilson. We're going to get a late foul call there, I believe, on Wilson, so it's going to remain with Lincoln, and that's going to be Wilson's second foul of the game. So early on we have fouls on Ennis and Wilson, giving them both 2 here for the Wolfpack.
TRC faced the challenge early on of the scoring run that Lincoln had. Now in the second half here, it seems to be that they're facing probably a mental or emotional challenge of they're feeling like the calls are going against them. So whether that's reality or not, the perception can really weigh on you, and that's going to be a piece that TRC's got to put to the side here and stay focused on what they're trying to accomplish.
Again, to Maskwitch, driving baseline, goes with the left off the bank, no good. Day's able to clean up the glass. The glass. Good words, Max.
Yeah, now you got Maskwitch stuck in the front court, though, so it's a big opportunity for TRC
to. Aaron Smith's able to go right around the screen, get to her left hand, unable to convert the finger roll, though. Maskwitch comes down with the rebound. And here's Hall wide open on the other end. She's able to hit the transition layup.
Yeah, it looked like a bit of a broken on both ends. Like TRC got lost with who the safety was, who the coverage was on the rim, so no one was back there. But then it also looked like Hall got caught in between steps. It looked like she might have took an extra one there without putting the ball down to try to get that one in.
It might have been, and then Becker comes up with a steal right away. She's going to go all the way herself and right to the rim for 2 more. Lincoln Prep.
Well, this now puts that same challenge. So I guess we talked in the last stoppage about trying to deal with the stresses of you feeling what your perception of how the calls are going, but now you've got the added stress that you've put yourself in the same scenario you did as in the first half. It went 10-0 to start the game, and now when it came out, I guess it's probably 7-0, 6-0 here the second half.
Yep, 6.
And puts a deficit back to 8. So the challenge of TRC when you play in these games, we talk about battle for first place to the top teams, is constantly putting yourself, trying to dig out of an 8 to 10 point gap is a big hole to come back from. So you've got to find a way to keep yourself in these things. You've got to minimize the runs against you, stay part of the game. But on the other hand, if you're Lincoln, you've got to find a way to keep this thing going. Yeah,
but we have talked. It's been a game of runs so far. Each team 8-0, 10-0 each way. So I'll definitely look for TRC to bounce back here, put together a run of their own. Let's just see if Lincoln can stop that and maintain this lead here going forward.
Yeah, and while it is a game of runs, again, if you're TRC, and you got to look at this now with 18 minutes left to go, if you're always the one playing from a negative of 8 or 10 points, that means you've got to have something that gets you as a run back to even, but you're never playing on the plus side of that margin.
Yeah.
So being on this side of the ledger leaves you very little room for error. You're trying to get that game back to the even point when it gets down to crunch time for the win. What's going to be much more comfortable is going to be on the positive side of this ledger, so you got a little bit of a buffer to work with.
Lincoln remains in their full court man. They now have Becker on Ennis and Hall switching over to guard Arab Smith. Arab Smith able to handle it that time. Here's Josephs with the high screen. Maskwich jumps out.
Yeah, great job by Maskwich there.
They get it to Wilson. A great look there for Josephs. Just a bit out of her reach, so it's going to go right back to Lincoln.
So Maskwich does a great job on the hedge that time, but there still seems to be some confusion in the back end for Lincoln. If I was TRC, I would stay in this ball screen. Because Maskwich does a great job on the hedge, but she still gets stuck almost at the three-point line trying to communicate with her teammate who's covering the rim. It seems like she doesn't not sure where she's going to go, so there is some confusion on that back end of who's doing what.
Lincoln works it around. Here's Maskwich working on Josephs. Swings it over to Hall. She's going to be out of bounds, so it's going to go back to TRC.
Those are tough plays when you go 1 foot pass to 1 foot catch. Usually means it's going to be a little bit off target on one end.
Becker with the denial, trying to find Ennis. It's going to be tipped off of her. It's going to remain with TRC.
It's kind of fun to watch. Ennis and Becker trying to.
It's got a lot of length in that matchup.
Yeah, jostle for position and finding a passing angle.
Able to get it into Ennis that time. She's going to bring it up against Becker. Ennis at the top. They're down to 6 on the shot clock here. They get Josephs in the high screen. Switch now with Maskwich. The pass to Joseph is going to be tipped off of Becker. It's going to remain with TRC. I believe there's going to be 1 on the shot clock, though.
A nice job on the ball screen there. So that time, as you mentioned, Maskwich jumps out in a switch, and then as she comes back this direction towards Becker, she jumps back in the play again, too. So you almost get trapped by it, too.
A great job by Maskwich these last few possessions on that high ball action. Definitely taking the guards almost all the way to half. They inbound it. They find Wilson cutting. Her shot's no good. Rainford comes down with it. She's pushing the other way for Lincoln.
Yeah, tough one when you know the clock's run out to get yourself a quality shot. So Lincoln does a nice job just forcing the action away from the rim.
They swing around. Here's Maskwich in the corner again. She kicks it all the way across to Rainford. Her three, too strong. Fight for the rebound.
We saw this one earlier from Day. She had a chance to challenge a shot. She got the block and then leaked out. She had a similar scenario here, and a chance to challenge that shot. It was off and running, so had TRC been able to corral that, they would have had someone over the top again.
So on the fight for the rebound, we did have a foul on Maskwich, so that was her 3rd foul. So with that, I do believe that we have a sub coming in for her at the next break. Here's Ennis working on Becker on the right wing. Finds Arab Smith cutting up top. Arab Smith looking to drive, cut off there by Hall. Here's Wilson, the quick trigger 3, and it's good.
Yeah, big one for Wilson. The Maskwich foul is really interesting because she's proven to have the savvy to play with foul trouble, but she also plays with a motor that puts herself in positions to be exposed to foul. She goes for a ton of rebounds. She'll play for steals. She's involved in a lot of ball screen pieces, so it probably will warrant getting her a couple of minutes of a break just to ensure she's going to get a quick 4th.
Becker's pass over to Hall is going to be tipped out of bounds by Ennis. With 7 remaining on the shot clock, it's going to be Lincoln ball on the baseline. And with that, we do have Reed checking in here for Maskwich. That pass is picked off by Wilson. She's going to be looking to tie her up on the backcourt. She gets it to Arab Smith. She tries to pass it back to Wilson, but she's not home. Right to Becker, and she's able to finish for 2.
Yeah, that's got to be the worst case scenario if you're TRC. Not only do you get the turnover, but you turnover going towards your own basket. Becker's literally uncontested doing a layup. Here's
Ennis on the right wing against Hall. She's going to take it herself, gets right to the key, finishes over Reed, but it's no good. Joseph fight for the rebound. It's going to go off of Reed, out of bounds, remaining with TRC. We have Zulich checking in for TRC, along with Frazier, Day, and Arab Smith both checking out for the Wolfpack. There's Wilson inbound. We find Frazier coming over the top. She gets into the key. Her pull-up jumper is good for a long two.
Frazier's done a nice job of just finding her opportunities within this game. It seems like she gets a little pocket of space. She makes that shot. Hasn't forced anything, just takes what comes to her and is converted.
There's Rainford working on Zulich. They're looking for Becker down low, but Wilson's doing a good job to deny that pass. They swing up fine. Hall kicks it over to the corner for Pockernick. The deep three off the side of the backboard and going to go out of bounds. Ball going to TRC.
Yeah, probably a better shot than what the outcome was for it, meaning they got a pretty good look at it, probably just got a little away from her, but Lincoln's probably still pleased with that direction. I think most times you can come down, get a pass going to one side and skip to a shooter. That usually ends up being somebody pretty set and a pretty good look.
TRC's able to inbound, and here's Ennis bringing it up against Hall now. Looking for Wilson cutting, but another little miscommunication there. The fight for the rebound, and McMillan's able to come up with it for Lincoln.
Yeah, there was some frustration, I think, between Ennis and Wilson that they had that miscommunication, but the rest of TRC was chasing that ball down, so credit to them. People still fighting for it.
Here's Becker driving, this time to the right hand. Her floater no good. Hall with the foul. Follow will be fouled by Joseph. She'll be at the line for two.
And Hall's just made a trademark of this. She just continues to go. She's got a great motor, follows this play down. That was a rebound she actually just tracked from the three-point line and almost hit the floor, but she's followed the entire time. Joseph probably does her job. I think you get a little bit of frustration. Your team's feeling a little bit going against you for a couple of plays in a row. So she takes what's probably a pretty good foul and just put her down. Don't let her have the easy layup. Make her go to the line to earn those points.
Unable to hit the first. Here comes the second. Bit strong in the second. Frazier cleans it up. There's Frazier in the full court working against Hall. Pressure defense again, looking to cause problems for TRC, but Wilson's able to handle it and get over half for the Wolfpack. Wilson gets right into the key, able to get around it, gets the lefty finish off the glass to go.
Another nice job for Wilson of getting to some contact, getting herself to balance before taking the shot.
Martindale, the open jumper was no good. Zulich is able to clean it up. She's going to be fouled by Hall there. It's going to remain TRC ball here in the backcourt.
And Hall's typically not in foul trouble, just her second again, too. So I think sometimes you like those ones from your guards. They're being a little feisty. They're chasing some things down. It's only the second team foul of the quarter, so you got an opportunity to go in there and just try and rip one. Gets a foul call against you. It's not as big of a deal.
Here's Ennis. The inbound's going to be tipped from behind from Becker, trying to get it to Arab Smith. It's going to remain with TRC.
You see the extra attention here from Lincoln, just trying to keep the ball out of Wilson's hands in that first pass. That's been the reliever of pressures when Wilson's been able to get it.
Ennis pressure there by Becker, able to come up with the steal, kicks it over to McMillan. Here's Hall at top now. Here's McMillan, the corner three, and it's good.
Yeah, it felt like the whole bench had found McMillan. I think TRC lost her in the bench crowd. Everyone was yelling for that one to come, and Becker maybe had lost sight of her for a sec, so nice communication by the bench to find the open shooter in the corner.
Here's Arab Smith probing from the top, gets right in the key. There's going to be a foul on her. She'll go to the line, 4-2.
And Arab Smith has been really effective on the drive tonight at getting herself to the free throw line as well, too. So you can finish a couple, but also if you can get there and you can draw those fouls, it allows you the opportunity to get a couple free cracks at the basket, get yourself in a rhythm for the next possession as well.
Arab Smith able to hit the first.
You can watch, this is probably a normal time for TRC to start to come out and show some sort of pressure with Ennis at the front. You can show it for a minute or two and allows you to get the exposure to what Lincoln's going to do to try and break that pressure. You can then pocket at the corner break and come back to it if you need it in the fourth.
Arab Smith able to convert both from the line. With that, we do have both Josephs and Day checking right back in for the Wolfpack. They do not go to that pressure we talked about just yet, but they will drop back into that zone they've been showing. Here's Ennis at the top, extending in a bit here for TRC. They skip all the way to the corner. Here's Becker along two. Just too strong, but Reed able to come up with the rebound. Tipped away, though, by Josephs. Fight for the ball. It's going to come up with by McMillan. 8 on the shot clock here. Becker, the little up fake, drives right in. It's no good. The fight for the rebound is going to be jump ball going TRC way.
Wow, great battle there for both teams. You got a lot of bodies in there trying to get hands on the ball. People keeping it alive. And I like the play by Becker to get that one. She probably wasn't fully set when the ball reached her. So it takes that pause, does an up fake to get the defense to fly by, and then gets into a rhythm pull-up.
The pass for Ennis is going to be picked off by McMillan. She finds a cutting Maskowicz, unable to convert the left in transition, but cleans up her miss. Gucker-Wicki this time, and her jumper's good.
Wow, nice catch by Maskowicz on the first one. Have the hands, be able to get that, to control the spin off it. They get it to her left hand to put on the rim. The rebound, the pass back out, just a really beautiful sequence for great hands.
Arab Smith finds Josephs open from the top. Her long two rattles in. 4-point lead here for Lincoln.
That's a good one for TRC. You can see Maskowicz jumped out there and almost trapped the ball handler. So if Josephs can make that shot, it relieves the pressure and ability of the confidence of the defense to go trap.
Here's Gucker-Wicki, finds a cutting Maskowicz on the baseline. She drives in, cut off there by Josephs. Good defense by the Wolfpack so far. McMillan gets into the key. They swing to the corner. Very contested shot from Martindale's going to come down. It's going to be shot clock violation going TRC way.
Yeah, and we've seen this scenario a couple times tonight. Whenever the shot clock's expiring, it's really difficult shots that people are going to take, and that's often what they end up looking like. Unpredictable rebounds is going to create a different type of angle where shots are coming from, so the rebound can be unpredictable.
Again, TRC having trouble inbounding. Another steal from McMillan there in the full court. She takes a 3 in transition, just off the fight for the rebound. Again, Lincoln comes up with it. Maskowicz finds a cutting Becker on the baseline. She's able to get right in. She's going to be fouled by Day. She'll go to the line for 2.
Gucker-Wicki's coming in there now and got 2 offensive rebounds. Got to really appreciate that. Coming to the game, I'm not sure we saw her in the first half. I'm not recalling her being in the first half. So to come to the second half and just have the presence to get 2 offensive rebounds, just earn possessions, and in this case, get you a chance to the free throw line. So a lot of credit to her.
Becker able to hit both from the line. 6-point here for lead now here for Lincoln. They bring a second defender here to cut off Wilson. They swing it around. Good recovery there by Lincoln, able to pick up now full court man. 9 on the shot clock for TRC. Wilson able to split through the double. Finds Day, who kicks out to Frazier for 3, just off. Joseph and Becker fight for the rebound. Becker's able to come down with it. Tipped away, though, by Ennis. Great pass to a cutting Josephs, and she's able to finish with the left.
Great hands there by Ennis. The first to pick off that dribble, then the little scoop pass or wrap pass.
Sloppy pass there by Maskowicz. No one could come up with it. Wilson goes right to the basket, and she's able to finish for 2.
Yeah, those ones are a backbreaker for Maskowicz, too. So that's the second time tonight she's been caught in a lazy or a laissez-faire approach to a pass. One ripped from her, and this one just thrown back in bounds. I think both times it's cost them 4 points or 2 points.
Coming right back total. The other way, she's going to be stopped there by Josephs, blocked out of bounds. It will remain with Lincoln.
Good response then now for Maskowicz too. Can't dwell on it like we are talking about there. Her shots to get back in their play. So good to see her get right back in and get something going towards the basket.
A great shift there for Josephs as she heads to the bench for a quick rest. Maskowicz at the top, driving against Wilson. She's going to get right into the lane. It's going to be a foul call. She'll go to the line for 2. I believe that foul was going to be called on Frazier. Maskowicz got a little tied up.
You know, those are always tough fouls in the sense that what happens is you get caught reaching or a little bit out of position, so you make what would be, lack of a better term, an awkward contact. So in this case, it looks like she might have got the face and stuff was in there. So the reality is,
her face.
yeah, the reality is it is a foul because she gets in the path of Maskowicz, but she also wanted no part of that, having her face in that area and getting clocked.
Maskowicz unable to hit the first.
We'll see here if TRC can get something pretty quick and give them a chance to go.
A little 2-for-1 action here.
Yeah, it would be really quick for that. So we'll see if they get something where they can get a leak out for a pull-up. Otherwise, they'll probably try and take this thing down and minimize what Lincoln can have the other way. So
Maskowicz is able to hit the second. She will be subbed out with those 3 fouls for the final 34 seconds. We'll see what TRC's coach has drawn up. See if they do go for this 2-for-1 opportunity or if they set up their half court.
Yeah, it's a bit behind where you'd want a typical 2-for-1. So like I said, it had to be something very direct.
They do get it to Ennis. Gets it over to Wilson. Looks to attack. Finds Zulich on the block. She goes to the rim. Unable to finish, though, the fight for the rebound. It's going to be tied up. Ball going Lincoln's way. Oh. Oh, my goodness. Some little extracurricular after that play. Let's let the referees step in there, tidy things up.
Yeah, I missed what happened, but I tell you, sometimes the hardest part for the referees in that one is that you're going to make the call, you start to signal something in, and then the little extras can happen behind the play.
And with that, we do have a technical foul here going to be called on Zulich. That will be her 4th of the game. And we do have McMillan going to line for Lincoln Prep.
Yeah, you can see Zulich now is going to explain to coach her side of the story, which is always never a fun.
I know you've been on the other end of that, Steve. How well does that go?
So never great conversations. You've already got both sides are probably upset. Zulich, which got technical, coach the technical was called, and now you can explain why that all went down. So
it's always someone else's fault, though, in those situations.
She did a pretty good job pleading her case because she's still out there. So we'll see how the last 17 goes.
Here's Becker on the right wing. Wilson extends the defense. She's able to get around her. They find McMillan in the corner. They have 7 on the shot clock. They find Martindale open. Her 3 rattles out, but Maskowicz right back in, and she's able to put the put back.
Wow, you know what? Maskowicz deserves a lot of credit. I felt like with the scenario, both the clock running out and how the ball went all the way in the cylinder and kind of popped out, it looked like a lot of people stopped playing that possession. She tracked that from one side of the rim to the other, almost just waiting for it to come into her hands and laid it back in. So just sticking with the play, earned herself 2 points there.
And a little quick release. She had less than a second to get it right back up and in, and able to do it.
Yeah, and did it. So nice bite, nice hands again. So she's shown that a couple times in a couple different scenarios there. Catch, ball back into some sort of different action. It'll be a pass from the ball to the floor, in this case back towards the rim. So good finish of the quarter for Lincoln. Give themselves 6 points now. And what this builds on, Max, I think, from TRC's perspective is the same thing we talked about now at the end of each quarter. You continue to put yourself in a gap. So you have these great stretches where they play well, but it's always putting yourself back to even. And every time you play well and you put to even, you have no room to wiggle if anything goes back the other direction. And Lincoln's too good to not have something go their direction for short stints in this game. So TRC's now got their work cut out for them. They've got only 10 minutes now to first erase the 6 points and put themselves in the positive. And you've got to do it against a team like Lincoln that's going to have clearly some positive stretches during the final quarter.
We're going to look for probably some of the leaders offensively. Ennis did not score in that third, only sitting with 6 so far today. With currently sitting as the leading scorer in the OSBA, we'll look to see if they can get her going here in the 4th. And then Wilson there started to pour it in on the third, 7 points there in the quarter, so we'll see if she can stay hot. Both can provide offense in a hurry for TRC, so we'll see if they lean on them here, chip away and at this lead.
Yeah, the one they need is Ennis, and Wilson's been pretty solid, as you mentioned, but Ennis is the one that usually gets them some pieces in transition. So there's a couple parts that often play that. It's a little bit of their rebounding. It's a little bit of their pressure. It's a little bit of just taking some steals in the quarter as well, too. So they've got to find all those pieces that lead to that and get Ennis into those scenarios where she can give them some offense.
Here we go. Frazier to inbound for TRC. Get it into Wilson. Trying to get it into Ennis, cut off by Hall, able to get around her though. A great pass again to a cutting Joseph. She's going to be fouled. She'll go back to the line for 2.
That's a great pass by Ennis, and she's had 2 of that now, almost that scoop where it looks like she's about to take off for a shot herself and can just like throw it right over the head of the defender. That's a tough place to get your hands to take away the passing angle, so beautiful pass. I bet for the game that Joseph's had, that's probably the one thing she wants back, because I feel like she had the inside position on that one. She had herself in pretty good balance. I bet she'd love to have another chance to put that thing on the glass, the chance to go in. She left it a little short, and I think it could have been a chance for an and one as opposed to the free throws.
Able to convert both from the line, so good sign for TRC coming out to start the 4th. We now have a 4-point Lincoln lead. Here's Pockernick at the top. Hall now on the left side. Late shot clock here for Lincoln. We're down to 7, but they find Maskowicz on the post. Great pass by Becker, and Maskowicz is able to finish.
Maskowicz does a real nice job there. She waited for the zone to shift, and as soon as they left their position, she stepped in there and sealed in it. So great timing, great sense of what the defense was trying to do, and then take advantage of where they were leaving.
TRC gets it up. Here's Joseph. Here's Day attacking from the wing now. Finds a cutting Wilson who's going to be pushed from behind. I believe that's going to be on Maskowicz. It will be TRC ball. And yes, it is Maskowicz, so that is her 4th.
Yeah, of all the ones to get, that's probably the one you least want for Maskowicz. And what I mean by that is what we touched on a bit earlier. You know she's going to go rebound. She's proven to do that. You know how active she is in the defensive part. You know how she tries to get some chances for steals and creates all those things. So you love for her fouls to be used in scenarios like that. This one almost ends up in a bit of a unlucky place, unlucky time, trying to get back to the rim, and just kind of ran over Wilson from a disadvantaged position.
We'll see how TRC responds now. 6-point lead for Lincoln. Here's Wilson at the top. 6 on the shot clock again. Wilson gets to that 3. Just out. The fight for the rebound. Becker's able to come up with it, and she's pushing herself. Little hesitation, step through. She gets it to Pockernick open. The tip away by Ennis. Rainford comes up with it.
Shot by Becker getting to the middle of the floor, too.
Late shot clock here again for Lincoln. Here's Rainford driving. Cut off by Joseph. Finds Pockernick. Kicks out to Hall. An open long 2. Just out. The fight for the rebound is going to be tied up between Rainford and Wilson. It's going to go TRC way.
Rainford just kind of snuck in there. From our angle, you almost couldn't see her in between all the white jerseys. So I don't know how she got her hands on that.
Sorry, it's actually going to remain with Lincoln. We had a little arrow. Did not switch on the last one, so it's going to go Lincoln ball. It almost seems like this end of the court has been a magnet for offensive rebounds. It was TRC all first half, and all second half it's been Lincoln.
I think the arrow did switch, Max. They had the Lincoln one here right before the quarter. Then the quarter coming out of the quarter would have been the other possession for TRC.
In that possession, Hall did step on the sideline there, so it's going to go back to TRC. They get it into Wilson. So Lincoln sticking with this man press so far all the way to 8 minutes left in the 4th. Wilson looking for Day at the high post. They're looking for Josephs on the block. Looks like she's going to make that over Johnson. 2 more points for Josephs here.
It looked like a pretty good matchup for Josephs. I would have anticipated her to take that and maybe gather herself to go towards the rim, but really she felt herself was in a bit of a rhythm and just put up on the glass.
The cross-court pass is going to be picked off by Ennis, and she's off in transition. Goes for the reverse. It looks like it might be blocked there by Becker. Cleaned up by Wilson, though. Pass right over to Frazier. She can't finish. Johnson picks it up, and it's going to be a foul on TRC.
That's a tough no finish, and not for fault to anybody, but just one of those things. It's almost like TRC's been waiting for that. We kind of called for it in between the quarters that if they wanted to get Ennis going, they had to get her back in that space. They got it. You could almost just feel the sense of the building like, great, this is what we've been dying to have here this whole game, is get some things in transition. Then for them to miss not once but twice in the same possession really put it back to a little bit of momentum for Lincoln.
We have Reed check back in for Lincoln. They swing it around. Becker gets a good look on the baseline. Unable to convert, though, at the rim. Joseph cleans it up for TRC. Here comes Wilson for the Wolfpack. There's Wilson on the left wing. Calling for the Day screen. Day slips, it gets right to the lane, and she's going to be fouled, plus the basket. She'll go to the line for the three-point play.
Both Wilson and Day deserve nice credit that they pull that ball screen over, and then they could sense what was going on as the hedge was showing early. guard was icing Wilson on the side, so she just pulled it further to the sideline first to see how far they would maintain that. As they got to here, Day sensed they were both outside the three-point line. That was her cue. She just slid down there, and now you've got two defenders outside the three-point line.
Great pass, too. Caught her in stride right to the basket.
Great
able
point.
to finish with the contact. Couldn't hit the free throw to convert the full play, but 2 more points there for TRC.
Yeah, and for the one that Agnes said that we might need to get going here for TRC. Savannah Day.
Savannah Day. The cross-court pass, risky one. It's going to be tipped from Frazier off of Becker's leg. It's going to go back to TRC.
Yeah, that would be an interesting one. That's almost like the football pass. I don't know if Frazier actually got a hand on it, but it's almost one of those ones where the hand flashes through the path of where the ball should go, and then it throws off the receiver. You almost start to anticipate the tip, and it looked like that's what got Becker a bit, is played it for a tip coming off Frazier, and the tip never happened, so it ended up being the spot where she wasn't expecting.
The full court pass finds Ennis over the top of Hall. She's able to pull it out. She's looking to get Wilson on the wing. They get the ball over there.
Getting the ball in continues to be part of the adventure for TRC, but now that they're here, it's
again a late shot clock here for TRC again. Constantly late in the clock. They have 5 on the shot clock now. Wilson, though, able to get right into the lane, gets the scoop, unable to finish. Reed cleans it up. Becker's going to be fouled there by Frazier in the full court, so it's going to remain with Lincoln.
Yeah, they got what they wanted, I think, which is Wilson in the middle of the floor, almost on a switch under Reed, so a chance to attack her and got by. Just couldn't find enough to get the finish in there.
If I am TRC, though, I'm going to probably try and get into that action a little bit sooner. We've seen since the second quarter multiple times, less than 5 seconds, forced into a rush shot late. If they get in that maybe even 5 seconds sooner, they'll have way more options on the kick out there. And here comes Ennis again with the steal, going coast to coast. Unable to finish that layup, though, and Lincoln comes down with it. They're going back the other way.
Yeah, shoot. You talk about 2 chances there. The points are obviously so critical in a 2-point game. Oh. Joseph's continuing to bring the energy, but I was going to say the points are obviously so big in a 2-point game, but even more so, it's just that trying to get Ennis going a bit. I just feel like you have your leading scorer, you have the league's leading scorer. You just can't seem to get her going. She's got 2 that are where she's made kind of her trademark, which is off steals and in transition, just hasn't been able to get them to go. And to add to which now she kind of heads to the bench there. It looks like a little bit of a tweak or something on the ankle getting checked out. So,
or a cramp in the calf maybe, as they're working that muscle a little bit on the bench.
Yeah, it's interesting. Don't know all the details. This is where we need that silent reporter we continue to call for. But
apply.
But Ennis was saying something to coach a few possessions earlier too, and coach was down the bench trying to find something for her. So I don't know if that was cramp or hydration related, but there was something maybe as a potential precursor to this as well.
Right in front of us, we did have the ball tipped off of Balibukubo's leg. It's going to remain with TRC. A little bit of miscommunication here. Slowly developing play. They're able to get into Wilson, though. Comes off the Joseph screen, comes right back. They find Day, the baseline jumper, too strong. Martindale comes down with it. New legs here for Lincoln, looking to make something happen. There's Rainford from the top for 3, too strong. Day comes down with the board. Wilson, the baseball pass, finds Joseph right in the post, looking to go on Rainford, gets to her left hand, can't finish. Day, the putback's going to be fouled. She'll go to line for 2.
Oh, jeez, I mean, what a great possession for TRC. A great pass over the top to get that one, but I'm sure they would love to have that one back too, because again, now you've got Joseph, who makes a nice move in there on Rainford. They'll probably like to convert that one, but then also at the offensive rebound, have both of their players come up short, and that is probably a little bit frustrating. So they've had chances here in this fourth quarter, a couple layups, and now a couple touches at the rim that just haven't got down to fall. So they've kept themselves in. It's 2 points. You get a chance for these free throws, but they're going to have to start to converting those ones in the paint as well.
Day unable to hit the free throw. Also something to note, Joseph's has looked a little tired the last few possessions. It looked like she almost was going to get a sub there on that foul, but the coach elected to leave her on. We'll see if she can manage that moving forward and see if they do get a rest here for her here the last 5:15 of the game.
Yeah, we have the return of Ennis, so we'll see if that would allow or permit to give Joseph maybe a minute breather here to finish the game.
They swing it around. They find McMillan open on the baseline, and it banks in.
Yeah, that probably not by design. It's a really tough shot to have the bank come from the short that way. But, you know, in a game like this, sometimes you just need a break to get it to go. So to take it from 1 to 4 points is a huge shot.
They're looking to find Joseph's on the block. She catches in traffic, unable to finish the left, but cleans up her own mess. Kicks it out to Exelby. Her top three just too strong. Ennis this time finds the offensive rebound. Her shot in the key, and it's good.
It's nice to get Ennis a bit of a rhythm one there. Josephs is having a heck of a quarter. Well, she's going to need one or two of those to go. They need it to go. She's doing so well getting positioned, so well getting great shots. They're going to have to start to go down for her. Maybe she just needs that breather you spoke of.
Skoskin's shot could not go. Ennis looking to push, though. Break seemed to provide her a little bit more energy here. She's pushing the pressure. Here's Wilson again, pulls it out. It's late in the shot clock here. We have 7 on the shot clock for TRC. Little in and out dribble, gets into the key. Her lefty floater's no good. Balabukuba comes down with it. They push ahead. They have a 2-on-1 situation. Martindale goes right around the defender, and she's able to score.
Yeah, and you can see TRC right now is having a hard time. Both Josephs and Day is having a hard time getting back in defense. I think they're both in need of a bit of a breather. So whether that equates to just a timeout or if they start to sub somebody through to give them both some time, but they're not able to get back on defense. It's going to be tough to maintain or get yourself out of this 4-point deficit if you can't get all 5 back to the defensive possessions.
Here's Wilson calling for Josephs to come up with the screen. Instead, she's just going to back down herself, gets right in the key. There's going to be a foul there on McMillan. Wilson will go to the line for 2. Kind of like that.
Yeah, it's kind of a heady little possession there for Wilson. She went to get a bit of a sense of where the sticking point is, what we typically call it, where the defense won't give any more ground. But in this case, Lincoln just seemed to kind of concede that ground, so Wilson realized she could just back her into the paint. And once you're there, you feel pretty good with your shot quality in the paint.
Mm-hmm. You're not going to come set this screen in time. I'm just going to take it myself. Unable to hit the first, though. We do have both Day and Josephs checking out for TRC, so we'll see how long Coach Leanna gives them off. 3.5 minutes here, 4-point deficit for TRC.
Yeah, this might be one where you sneak in a timeout on this as well, too. Let 30 seconds, 40 seconds elapse, take a timeout, and that equates to a long enough break for them in real life time, but hopefully only about a minute of game time.
Lincoln swinging up top. Here's Martindale, gets in the key, kicks out to an open Hall for 3. Her shot's no good. The follow, though, Martindale's able to come up with an offensive rebound. Swinging around up top. Here's Martindale. Her time for 3. No good. McMillan the follow, though, and she's able to finish.
Yeah, big follow. You know what? You get a couple of cracks out of it. They're pretty good shots, but if you're going to give them extra opportunities with the offensive rebounds, eventually something's going to go. So McMillan tracks that down, lays it in. But TRC was lucky to escape from the quality shots being missed from the 3-point line as well.
And here's a timeout by TRC that you called for. That with both their posts, Josephs and Day out, offensive rebounds were going to be critical, and they gave up 3 or 4, I think, on that last possession. So got to clean that up if you're the Wolfpack and trying to get back into this.
Yeah, the rebounding battle is going to be critical down the final 3 minutes. But this also, I think it's a great timeout because it does allow you that flexibility now. You can get some of those forwards in that you were giving a breather to.
Both
they only
in.
sat for probably about 30 seconds of game time, but as we talked about earlier, now it's going to end up equaling about 2 or 3 minutes of real-life time. They give them a chance to get their wind back in there. They've been so critical in TRC's run here in the fourth quarter, so to put them back in an injection. On the flip side, we've gone a long time without seeing Maskowicz, so I wouldn't be surprised to see if Lincoln doesn't come back to her here potentially on this timeout or soon as well.
It does look from our vantage that both forwards are going to check back in for TRC, and it doesn't look like Maskowicz is checking in just yet, but that could change here with the rest of the timeout coming.
Yeah, Lincoln maybe TRC, and from my opinion, Lily, they needed to go back to those two and get a chance. Lincoln may be feeling very comfortable with how this smaller lineup has worked out. They've given some different looks. They've switched some more actions here on the defensive end and made it feel like that's been part of their advantage. So it's a gutsy call when you leave Maskowicz on the bench to finish a game when you have her available, but it might be the right one in this case for them.
We will see how long they give her, because I don't think it will be too much longer on the bench for Maskowicz, though. As she doesn't check out here for Lincoln, we do have Becker, McMillan, Hall, Balabukubo, and Martindale. For TRC, we have Ennis, Day, Arab, Smith, Wilson, and Josephs. Day to inbound. Lincoln remaining in the full court man-to-man defense we've seen all game. They're going to drop Becker back, though. They get it into Wilson. She's going to be trapped. Gets it over to Day, though. Arab Smith trapped on the wing. They find Josephs at the high post. Swing it to Wilson. They have 9 on the shot clock again here. She's trying to find someone open, but no one's moving for her. Martindale comes up with a steal, goes coast to coast herself, and finishes for 2.
Yeah, and they had a missed chance there of Ennis and Wilson in the 2-on-1, but couldn't get the ball there.
Ennis goes right the other way, gets right to the rim. She's going to be fouled. She'll go to line for 2.
That's a good response. I mean, the thing had gone to 7. The game had gone to 7, so TRC couldn't afford to have another stagnant possession at that point. So Ennis gets her head down, has an awareness of that, gets right to the free throw line. Chance to get it back to neutral from that last possession.
And if you're TRC, that's what you want from Ennis, getting right into the lane, getting to the basket. It's where she does most of her work.
They really want this free throw. Obviously need the points. That's clear in this situation, but
ideally
you want the points, but also allows you to set up what you want to do defensively. So whether they want to stay in the zone, whether they want to show some sort of pressure, whatever it is that you're trying to do, a made free throw allows it to be set for you defensively.
Ennis does hit the second. They do fall back into that zone here. 2 minutes, 17 seconds remaining. They get Becker here in the post, makes a move on Joseph. I believe there's going to be a foul call. She'll go to the line for 2.
Yeah, I like that by Becker. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of patience when the game's tight like this. So 2 minutes to go, and if you're the team down, you're a little bit antsy. You're always trying to get steals, trying to get involved in a little more plays than maybe you would at the rest of the time. So Becker just stays with that, up fake, pivot through, pivot through, pivot through. Then in that time, the defense is kind of panicking. They're trying to reach her, they're trying to block everything, and you get some hands on you, and you get a chance to go to the free throw line.
Unable to hit the first for Becker. And a bit too strong on the second. Ennis comes down with the rebound. It's going to be a foul on Becker there. It is in the bonus, so Ennis will go right to the line. And it's also Becker's 4th of the game. It's not a great foul if you're Lincoln.
Yeah, as close to worst case scenario as that one can be. You have almost no time, come off the clock. You put Ennis back to the line, helping her get into a bit of a rhythm. And then you put Becker in a scenario with anything else like that were to happen, then she's out of the game. So yeah, depending on which side of the coin you're on this one, it's either the worst or best case scenario.
Ennis able to hit the first. 5-point lead now, Lincoln. Off on the second, but Day's able to clean it up. She goes to the rim. She's going to be blocked there by Becker. Tipped out of bounds from Lincoln. It's going to be TRC ball.
Yeah, nice block by Becker. That one had a makings of a lot of trouble. I think we got Maskowicz, it looks like, coming up the sideline now, too.
Wilson to inbound. They find Day on the block, gets it back. Trying to get it to Wilson. It's going to be tipped out of bounds by McMillan. So we do have Maskowicz checking back in here. 2 minutes, 4 seconds remaining. She'll take out Balabukubo.
And that may change what TRC's doing now on offense, because they were clearly trying to expose the smaller guards on their forwards.
Trying to get it in. Arab Smith stepped over the line, so it will be a violation there. It's going to go over Lincoln way. Some of these mental mistakes late could hurt TRC with chipping into this 5-point lead. 2 minutes left. That's not ideal. A swing over the top from Hall finds Becker. Gets into her pull-up, finds Maskowicz. A great wraparound pass to Martindale. She's unable to convert, but again an offensive rebound by Maskowicz. Her second attempt is blocked. Her pass out to Martindale, just out of the reach. Is going to be an over and back TRC ball.
Yeah, I thought Maskowicz had a great start to that possession. The skip pass, she did a nice cylinder to get Becker the chance. And it felt like at that time was almost when you wanted Becker to have a shot, an attack, or throw it back inside to Maskowicz, which has probably been like the ideal piece. But sometimes Lincoln's almost felt a little too unselfish in this game, and a couple of times it felt like it's actually cost them some pretty good shots. And now they're going to get Maskowicz back out, a chance to go offense, defense, subs, what they're trying to do here, protect her.
Again, trouble inbounding in here for Arab Smith. It's going to be a 5-second violation. It's going to go ball back over to Lincoln.
Yeah, TRC a little frustrated there. They felt like it was a quick count.
But that is something that's been plaguing them all game. The ability to inbound the pass, critical here in Brantford. Here's Becker looking to get it into Maskowicz, just checked back in. Joseph comes away with the steal. Here's Arab Smith now. They have numbers if they push. Arab Smith gets by Martindale, gets right in the key, finishes, plus the foul. She'll go to the line for a 3-point play.
Yeah, that's a tough one for Martindale. Arab Smith did a great job almost at the catch back here at her own 3-point line. At that stage, she sealed Martindale off. So every time Martindale was trying to get around her, Arab Smith could keep her positioning to make it a contact. So once you get down the key, you do that same piece. Martindale's trying to get around you and cut off that lane. You steal that off. She's running into you. You're taking off for a shot, so a chance for an N1. Beautiful job by Arab Smith, and it started way back here at the beginning.
And it looks as if TRC is going to look to put some pressure, putting Ennis and Wilson in both for the free throw miss. We are going to have a timeout. Lincoln, though, 2-point lead here, 1 minute, 18 seconds remaining.
And this is probably why they were so cautious with Maskowicz during the stretch in the fourth quarter, because now you get down to this crunch time and you want to have both those options, Maskowicz and Becker. And they get to choose whether they're going to use them or use them with the basketball or use them as a chance to draw out defense. But having both those weapons on the floor is really going to put a hamstring on what TRC can do defensively. You got to be stretched out to both those players and whoever has the basketball.
And both of them have been not only providing a huge impact on the offensive end, but both defensively and rebounding. Both have had numerous offensive rebounds, giving second chance points. And when you're trying to chip back into it like you are, TRC, you can't give up all those second chance opportunities. So we'll see if they can hit the glass, keep both of them off the boards.
Yeah, and Maskowicz has been huge in that throughout the game, but we're down to, because you're absolutely right, but we're down to one possession now as well. So even if you're Lincoln, you can't just play it out. They've got to score. That's also going to be on their mind. They got to run these possessions to score. And then on the flip of that is you can't be fouling TRC. So they were almost caught this one time with Martindale in the full on that. They were caught the time before fouling in bad situations. They've got to get their offensive possession here, score or miss, and they got to get back and play defense in the quarter court.
And really, TRC has somewhat struggled in the half court as of late. They've had most of their chances in transition or in the mismatch when Joseph's had the guard down low. So we'll see how they attack them in the half court if they do get that opportunity here late in the game. Here TRC sticks in that zone. Martindale to inbound for Lincoln. Here's Hall in the corner. They're looking for Maskowicz down low on Josephs. They swing around the top. Becker looks to drive. They swing it. Becker in the corner now. Her three just short. Josephs comes down with it for TRC. Here's Ennis. Gets it over half for the Wolfpack. 53 seconds here. Wolfpack ball. Ennis on the right wing. They find Day on the block. She has a mismatch with McMillan, able to get right around her and finish for two.
Yeah, you like that awareness for TRC. And as we've talked about a couple times, they've had some possessions that have really dragged out and forced them into some bad situations. But this time they had a little bit of patience getting around. They saw the matchup they liked down there, which you pointed out for Day. They gave it to her, and then she also had the patience. She didn't rush that shot, which is one thing a lot of athletes get guilty of doing. You get the matchup, you try and go right into it. She took her time to get to a pivot, get herself strong, get a nice base, and then dribble that to the rim before taking the shot attempt. So well executed by TRC, and now Lincoln's have to come back down and find their own offensive execution.
Yeah, great play drawn up by the coach. They found the mismatch. They exploited it greatly. We'll see how Lincoln responds.
If you're Lincoln in this piece, I'm just looking at the time. What is the time on this clock?
The time, I think it's 44 seconds, I believe.
Okay. If you're Lincoln in this one now, you've got a chance to go 2 for 1, but you don't want to get sucked into that late in game, because in a tie game like this, what's actually more important than the number of possessions is the quality of the possession you have. So you come out of this, and if you can run something out of this time that allows you to get a touch inside to Maskowicz or wherever else that you're really happy with your players, you take that one and a chance to defend. Otherwise, you come out of this and you ensure that you get a really good shot. The most important piece is you trust your team to both have a good offensive possession and a good defensive possession.
Yeah.
TRC showed last time they came out in zone. We'll see if they continue to do that, and we'll see if Lincoln's maybe a little more prepared to attack that of a set play on the sideline as well. Before we get into this, Max, too, I want to add that, and yes, Borg's pick for player to watch in the second half continues
stepping up late,
delivers a huge basket.
The teams are going to go back to their benches as we try and sort out the clock. We have Michaela Ennis over there, technical expert figuring out all these electronic issues for us.
Yeah, you like that and you don't. If I'm TRC, I mean, it's great that Michaela Ennis has that knowledge and the ability to do that, but really would prefer her to be focused on whatever things you're talking about. And we're all probably a little guilty. You get in the last minute, you're almost trying to give too much information. So the last thing you need is to be extra information coming from something that's game operations related and not her
cognitive
player.
load there, Michaela Ennis. Focus on the game.
Agree. But that's just my vent on that. Let the score table figure that out.
Oh no. Okay, we are figuring it out. We're gonna get there.
This is more of a challenge, I think, for the coaches and the athletes in this scenario, because what happens with the coaches is there's a lot of energy in the building right now. You got 44 seconds left. You almost want to take this opportunity to give more information, but the challenge that is almost that same piece with Michaela. You can't now fill it has just become a 5 to 10 minute block of continual information to your athletes.
Yep.
So there's got to be a balance of making sure they know what they're going to do, but then also making sure they can deliver in that space, have some freedom in their mind to be creative and to go finish these plays.
On the other end, it was a good break for the athletes. We did see some of them getting a little tired the last few possessions, so they're all rested now. We have 44 seconds left. It's going to be a good one. Martindale to inbound for the Huskies. They get Maskowicz on the baseline, drives on Joseph. It's going to be no foul call initially, but I believe it's going to be a foul call on Day on the shot attempt. Maskowicz will go to the line for 2.
Yeah, great take. I like the call to get it to Maskowicz and for her to go right to the rim. Both teams thought they got the call they wanted. So Maskowicz got herself down. She's going hard towards the rim. TRC was arguing they had their forwards there. Maskowicz initiated, but I mean, at the end of the day, Maskowicz did her job.
Yeah.
Short corner touch, go to the rim, let the referee make a decision. The other piece they did get, Max, like we talked about, if you have something quick, it does set up the 2-for-1. So they're probably very happy with the possession. You got Maskowicz short corner going to the rim. They will get 2 possessions out of this now. I mean, the clock's going to go down. They have to play defense once. They'll get the ball last.
This is enough time, though. We could see TRC, if they move quick enough, that they could almost get a 2-for-1 on their own here with 40 seconds remaining. We'll see if they can break the press and try and get right into their offense. Ennis able to get away around. Maskowicz finds Aerosmith cutting to the basket. She couldn't handle the pass. It's going to be tipped off Becker. It's going to remain TRC ball.
Wow, and that was close both ways. You almost had an uncontested layup for Aerosmith, and you almost had a chaos ensue. She almost tipped it out of bounds. She had to save that. She threw it to Michaela, and almost got a double tip as well, too. So it goes from almost so good to so bad.
Such quick. A range of emotions.
I can't handle this.
Here's Wilson at the top for the Wolfpack. 30 seconds here. We have a 1-point Lincoln lead. Here's Joseph, finds a cutting. Day open on the baseline, finishes, plus the foul! The crowd is going crazy!
You know, Day clearly deserves a bunch of credit to collect that and finish that. It's a tremendous finish with a bunch of bodies around her, but I want to go back to the pickup by Joseph. I thought Wilson's pass had got away from her. It was not the pass Wilson wanted to make. Joseph had to pick that up off her shins and then was able to do so, and then below her waist the entire time, make a little shovel to Day. Like, just love the awareness.
The cut too by Day, seeing all the attention on Joseph's. They're tracking Ennis on the wing. No eyes on her. She cuts right to the basket. She's able to get it, corral herself, get right to the rim, plus the foul.
Yeah, when that pass got away from Wilson, I thought this was going Lincoln's way, but Joseph, I thought, really bailed that play. It was a heck of a play by Joseph.
And Day's able to convert the 3-point lead. We now have a 2-point TRC lead, 23 seconds remaining here.
Who was that foul on?
The foul, was on Lauren Rainford and not Bryn Maskowicz. So Maskowicz and Becker both remain with 4. Rainford goes to the bench with her 3rd foul. Here's McMillan, drives right in. Hard screen set there on Wilson. Becker, an open 3. Jess rattles out. Ennis able to track down the rebound. She's going coast to coast and finishes this one for TRC. And there we see Michaela Ennis coming up big for the Wolfpack, tracking down the board, tipping it to herself, running all the way, and able to finish this one off. It's going to be a timeout TRC here.
Yeah, I love the possession down here. You didn't need a timeout. Lincoln came down. They were able to still run and get themselves a shot. Got the high screen up top. caught Wilson a little bit by surprise, got in the penetration, and they got a clean look for Becker in the corner. So, I mean, you're not going to make every shot. Exactly. You're not going to make every shot, but you just want that. So if you could say we came down and got ourselves a clean look with the game on the line, which it did, you're going to take that. On the flip, the unfortunate piece of that is that what ensued from that missed shot has then been a breakaway layup the other way. So anything else could give you a chance probably for the foul. You hope for a split, but the breakaway layup really puts the pressure on this last possession now. And I think the two teams, just if you hear the whistles in the background, are trying to sort out where the ball is going to be inbounded, because the timeout was TRC's timeout. I believe the ball is still.
There's a little bit of confusion here, as I believe one referee told the coaches one thing, and now they're going to confer to make sure that was correct.
Yeah. Last 2 minutes, both teams had the ability to take the timeout on the made basket. TRC took the timeout, so the ball does stay on the baseline for Lincoln. But Lincoln was arguing that because there was a timeout, the ball should progress. And then what happened, that's probably the big case of their argument, is the referee had first indicated to Lincoln that would be the scenario.
So we did add 2 more seconds here, so we're up to 9.6 seconds here. We have 4-point TRC lead. Lincoln ball on their own baseline.
The reality is the referees did end up getting this correct. The ball should be on the baseline this scenario.
Here's McMillan, gets around Arab Smith. It's down to 5. She gets in the key. Here's an open look for Martindale for 3. Just off the fight for the rebound. And it's going to come up, and it's going to be a TRC win.
One of those, it's just
pandemonium
awesome.
Here.
It's just awesome, the OSBA and the crowds we get here, and a credit to the guys too for some of the energy they brought as well. But what I was going to say is we thought the challenge this was for the entire game for TRC to be playing with the deficit and to get all the way back to the positive side. They did pull this off. They did it probably the most difficult way you can, of being down the entire game to take a lead, especially on a team like Lincoln. But both teams deserve a ton of credit. Great game here. Exactly what we were hoping for with Game of the Week.
And
right
TRC
down to the wire.
Now takes first place in the OSBA standings. What a great matchup here. And that's all we have, though. So it's going to be TRC taking this one 67-63 over the visiting Lincoln Prep.